This is Money Talks.
Hi, my name is Ibukun Oyedeji, President CFA Society Nigeria. Join me and a host of other financial industry practitioners for Money Talks with CFA Society Nigeria.
Money Talks with CFA Society Nigeria. Let's talk about money. Hello everyone and welcome to Money Talks. Money Talks is brought to you by CFA Society Nigeria and it's a financial literacy program. Today, Babajide Fadahunsi is my guest on the program. Babajide is a senior manager in the deal advisory team of PricewaterhouseCoopers. He has over a decade of experience working in investment banking and consulting. Not too much story, the EFICOs, they don't talk too much about too many, too long profile. My guest this evening is loaded. You soon find out about that. So wherever you are, you can get ready to interact with us on the program this evening because we're discussing investing, a great way to grow wealth over time. I know when you hear investing, some persons will waste the money smart. By the way, my name is Smart Uzechi, but you can call me Captain Smart on the program, and that'll be nice. So if you're interested in talking investment or learning about investment as a great way to grow wealth over time, this is your program. The number to call 0700 923 923 923. That is 0700 923 923 923, or you can call 0802 054 4484. That's 0802 054 4484. There's also 0814 0000 923, or just send a message on WhatsApp. You can also send a voice note to 0817 313 6193. That's 0817 313 6193. As we make welcome Babajide Fadahunsi to the program. Babajide, I hope I can call you Babajide.
That's fine, thank you.
Or Jide. Babajide, preferably. Okay.
Thank you.
Babajide, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
You actually look very rich, So you qualify, even by the way you look, to talk about investing. Because sometimes when you see people who talk about investing, they don't look like they have money in their pocket. But if it's somebody like you, by your looks, I can go ahead to say talk about investing because you look like an investor, an investment professional. Thank you so much for your time on the program this evening. So Babajide, very quickly, we have always heard people talk about investing, here and there. Let's start from the basics now. You're going to have to break it down so that people who are listening from everywhere, we have investment bankers listening, professional, and also people who are aspiring to invest also listening. Can you break it down for us? When you say investing, how does it differ, if it does, from saving? Because sometimes people use it interchangeably. They say, I'm investing. They have deposited money in their savings account. Does it differ? If it does, can you just walk us through it this evening?
Okay, thank you, Captain Smart. Nice having me here today. But very quickly, a key part of saving has to do with easy access. You put the money in your savings account so you have easy access to the money. And that's mostly used to meet short-term goals. Like you have to buy your weekly groceries, you have to pay your school fees. Things that are more or less short-term, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 months, you want to keep in a savings account or in a near cash instrument, such as a money market instrument, which I believe we'll talk about more later. On the other hand, investment has to do with longer-term goals, and that most times has to do with the objective to do what? To create wealth, which is very important. You want to create wealth and you invest to do that. So if I can say it in simple terms, savings has to do with short-term goals and having easy access to those funds. On the other hand, investment has to do with longer-term goals and growing it, which you can call wealth creation.
So if I may just talk representing those who are listening out there who may not have access to you, does it mean that if I have money in an investment account and also have money in a savings account, access to the monies will differ?
It could differ. It depends on how you look at it. For most people tell you if you go to your savings account, you can go to your ATM and withdraw it within minutes or seconds in today's Nigeria. On the other hand, your investment account, if you have to liquidate, assume you have to liquidate some shares, that can take, let's say, from between 1 day to 3 days to get your money out. It just tells you that the intention is not for you to come there at every short notice.
Oh wow!
It's for you to come there when it is required, because you've left it to grow. On the other hand, savings is left actually with the intent, with the objective by the bank to say this person can come and collect his money at any point in time. That's what actually makes it a savings account, and you can come and take your money at any point in time. But if you go to an investment account, more often than not, it will take, like, let's say, between 1 and 3 days, depending on the investment. And if it's actually an investment in real estate, it could take a year or more or less.
Wow.
So it depends on what you're investing in. So that takes us back to liquidity issues, which I'm going to talk about much later.
So poor man no go fit invest now.
No, it doesn't matter.
If you can't get emergency like urgent 10k or 20k, you can't go to the investment house and say, I need my money now.
No, there are different pockets of investments. I can use the word buckets. You can invest in instruments such as mutual funds.
Okay.
Mutual funds are different. You have the money market, fixed income, equity mutual funds, and those ones are a bit more liquid than the traditional investments. You can also invest directly in stocks, in the stock exchange. I mean, buying shares, and that one also can be easily liquidated. On the other hand, there are also some extremes, like when you invest. I mean, that's obviously for the quote unquote the more what you call
the big boys.
You can use that word, but they will call them high net worth individuals. They can invest in private companies, and it takes a lot longer than the 3 days I mentioned to liquidate. So it depends on what bucket. But now with investments that are very, very liquid, mutual funds are close and near cash in today's market. So you can also call that, I mean, as good as savings to an extent. But the objective is not short-term access. Right. It's more or less to grow wealth.
I've seen a lot of people who say that they make a lot of money from investment. I mean, that's how they have become very, very rich. So, which means that investing actually is considered as a very powerful tool for growing wealth over time. Why do you think that is so?
There's a term I was taught when I was in high school, which is called compounding interest. I would like to use that to explain this. When you invest in, let's say, a mutual fund, that's very much accessible to almost everyone, and you don't take your interest. What that means is that the 1,000 naira, the 10,000 naira you invest today, if they pay you as of today, some are paying 15%. So let's say 10,000 naira, you make 1.5. That means for the next year, your money is going to be invested. That will be invested will be the principal plus the interest you got in the first year. That will be your new principal, which will now be 11.5. Then you earn additional interest on that. So what that has done for you is that's giving you interest on interest. So it keeps compounding, and the power of compounding is most times underestimated. If you invest 10,000 naira and you compound, versus someone that doesn't compound but takes the money out, the effect in 5 years can be the fact that you have doubled the 10,000 naira, whereas the person that took the money out will just be left with the principal that he or she invested and the interest that he or she could have spent. So you are left with a lower principal amount. So, and you can actually compound. If you compound your money within 5 years, you can double it.
Wow,
that's the power of compounding.
So it's one may be growing arithmetically, the other one can be said to be geometrically somehow.
Somewhat. Yeah, but the major idea is that you are not taking out the either dividend or interest you are being paid, but you are reinvesting it. And when you do that, what that does is that it compounds, and in 5 years, at a rate of about 15%, you can double your money.
Wow. So that's what some people refer to as roll over my principal and interest.
Yes.
That's what they refer to as that.
Yes.
Right. Very, very good. So, Babajide, can you tell us some of the most common types of investment available to individuals? Because I heard you mention shares as a form of investment. So for an individual listening out there, can you tell him those buckets? You call it buckets of investment. So talk to us about those buckets.
Okay, thank you. I mean, to look at them, I mean, I would try to keep it very simple. I would say there are 3 major investment types. The first one is equity, which we're all very familiar with, which has to do with buying shares in a listed company. That's what I'll call, and that's why you have the Nigerian Nigerian exchange today, and you also have the NASD, where they sell PLCs, public listed companies but are not listed on the NGX. Second one is what you call bonds. Until recently, bonds was left for largely the HNIs, that's the high net worth individuals. But recently, we've seen government issue what you call FGN savings bonds, and that allows retail investor invest as low as 5,000, if I'm correct, in a bond. And the last class of investment I would like to talk about are what you call alternative investments. And under alternative investment, I will throw a lot of investment into that bucket. One would be real estate, private equity, commodity investment. Anything that is not the traditional equity or bond will be referred to as alternative investments. So crypto will probably fall into that bucket also.
Wow. 0700 923 923 923 is the number you can call to join us on the conversation here, or you can call 0802 054 4484. That's 0802 054 4484. You can also call 0814 0000 923. That's 0814 0000 923. Or just send us a message on WhatsApp, including recording voice notes, and send into the number 0817 313 6193. That's 0817 313 6193. We're also live on YouTube at CFA Society. On YouTube, you can go there. We're live right there at the moment. Hello, good evening to you. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Okay, my name is Aisosa, and I'm calling from VI.
Welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so the question goes to the young man in the studio, because I heard him talking about bonds, investments, and he was talking about crypto. That's something, there's a particular investment that falls under crypto. I would like him to expatiate more on that, because I know that a lot of banks won't have anything that has to do with crypto. So if you're talking about investment and crypto, it's kind of misleading. So I need more light on that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so that caller, because recently people started talking about crypto since, of course, there was a clampdown on one of these P2P investment platforms, and people started saying, the federal government doesn't want that. Is that the situation? Like the question she's asking now.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll try and be very clear what I said.
Yeah,
I said that like three buckets of investments.
Yeah,
one is equity, which we're all very used to buying shares on the NGX or the NASD. The second one has to do with bonds, which are usually issued by corporates or the FGN or state governments. And I said any other investment that is not either bonds or equity will fall under the third bucket, which are called alternative investments, where you have real estate, private equity, commodity, cryptocurrencies, and the likes. I didn't speak to the legal status of investing in them or not.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope that provides clarity.
Clarity. Okay. So, are you trying to say like, don't go there?
I think that's outside the objective of this particular. Yeah. So
okay. I
I'll
get
just
it.
keep it simple.
I get it. So you can call. That's a very smart question. ISOSA 0700 923 923 923. The number to call, or you can call 0814 0000 923. That's 0814 0000 923. Or you can just send a message on WhatsApp 0817 313 6193. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you so much.
Grace from Shazam.
Yeah, thank you for calling. Go ahead.
So I want to ask, as a student, like an orphan and a student, so I have a particular amount that was given to me. Fortunately, I was on scholarship, and I don't want to spend that money unwisely. So, how can you advise me, sir, on how to invest on that particular money? Yes, instead of just spending it and all of that, or keeping it. Then in the next 2 years, not just paying any interest. So, how can I invest in it, sir? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks for that question. Very important is that, before recommending what to invest in, there are a lot of things you need to do. It's like going to your doctor. And when you go to a doctor, the doctor asks you some questions, which I'm not sure I have the information today.
In fact, she took the question out of her mouth. The things you're supposed to consider before actually making an investment.
Okay.
What are those things? Things to look out for, including red flags.
Okay. So I'll quickly cover that, and I'm sure I will touch on your
question
at some point. First thing first is you have to educate yourself around the various asset classes, which I've put in 3 buckets: the equity, bonds, which are called fixed income, and lastly alternative assets. Try to understand those asset classes, and based on that, you know what you can afford to invest in. Also important is, what is your goal? Is it to meet a particular expense in 5 years?
Okay, Babajide, just hold on to it. Hello, good evening.
Hi, yes. My name is Cosmos from Fitness. I just want to know insurance investment.
Cosmos, we are finding it difficult to hear you. Can you use the alternate line? The alternate line is 0814 00 00 923. You can use that line, 0814 00 00 923. You can call that line so we can hear you better. Go ahead, Babajide.
Okay, yeah. So I mentioned setting your financial objectives and also understanding what is your need. You need the money in 2 years, in 18 months, or in 5 years, or all you need is income from that money over a period of time. So these are some of the factors you have to consider before deciding on what to invest in. So to the young lady that called, what you want to do is to reach out to one of the asset management firms, and I'm sure they can more or less talk to you and discuss with you, understand what your core objectives are, and they will try and ensure they meet them. But low and green fruits are most times mutual funds, which are actually, you have mutual funds for fixed income or bonds, you have mutual funds for equities, and I think you also have what you call REITs, which are real estate investment trusts. And there are various instruments that your asset manager can discuss with you and probably advise the best that suits your situation.
In case you're joining us now, you're listening to Money Talks. It's brought to you by CFA Society Nigeria. Babajide Fadahunsi is my guest on the program, and we're discussing this evening investing, a great way to grow wealth over time. In case you have questions, you can send us messages on WhatsApp 0817 313 6193. That's 0817 313 6193. You can also send us voice notes to that number, or just call on the telephone 0814 00 00 923. That's 0814 00 00 923 as we're coasting home. Or you can also call 0802 054 4484. That's 0802 054 4484. Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Thank you so much for calling.
My name is George.
Okay, George, go ahead, please.
So I'm just following off your last statement around mutual funds. I did an investment with
you don't need to call.
A couple of years now, and you know this type of investment where you're set aside a certain amount of money every month, and then after 5 years you take back your principal and interest, and then after 5 years the insurance company, I'm just trying not to mention their name.
Yeah, please don't. Please don't. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the insurance company has gone. They're no longer, they're in existence, but they don't have capacity to pay. How would one be able to address this? This is also trying to help the lady who you said she should consider mutual funds. How can we mitigate against some of these types of companies? And then what ways would be the best approach to push this company to be able to pay, since they are gradually paying some of their investors gradually? Thank you.
Thank you very much, George. So, Babajide, again, it looks like these callers are prying into the script you have here.
Yeah.
So, in trying to answer that question, because when people hear investment, grow your wealth, it sounds very nice. It's like the real estate people trying to sell a piece of land to you that's in Ibejuleki, and then they'll tell you it's 5 minutes to Victoria Island. And then you go and buy the land, and then when you finish building your house, you discover that 5 minutes to VI is actually 5 hours to VI. So what are the main risks associated with investing in these things you're talking about, and how can you manage them when they occur? Because these things will surely happen. So are there risks, or if I just invest, I can go to my village and be collecting my interest I'll follow? You should just let us into that.
Maybe thanks for that, and I will take us a bit back. Most times for savings are usually quote unquote almost risk-free. I mean, to an extent, not risk-free in the real sense, but you keep it in an account, you can get your money any point in time. But the risk you face when you invest is that when you go back, you might not get the money you invested. It might be more or it might be less. So that's a major difference.
Even in a savings account?
No, I mean when you invest.
Okay, when you invest.
So in an investment account, it might be more or it might be less. But in savings account, your money cannot go below the amount you put in there, save for charges.
Why should I invest and I get less than my money?
That's the risk of investment, which I'm speaking to now.
Oh, wow.
So there are various risks. I mean, a major risk the country faced sometimes last year, was currency risks, where the devaluation of the naira impacted a lot of listed companies, and the prices of those companies on the Nigerian exchange went down. So that's a major risk of investment, currency risks. But I will speak to the issues which have come up, which is largely regulatory. Before you invest your money with any firm, ensure that firm is actually licensed to manage your investments or to manage investments. So the agencies the companies licensed to do investments in Nigeria are mostly regulated by SEC. So SEC, I know we also have some insurance companies that do also investment products together with some insurance products, but I won't go there. What I will speak to are the SEC regulated companies. So for SEC regulated companies, they typically have what you call their asset management. They have an asset management license, and they manage your asset on your behalf, either in a mutual fund or in a bilateral contract that you enter into with the company. So those companies are regulated by SEC, and they report quarterly to SEC. When they do that, SEC ensures they also follow the rules of engagement, which they've also signed up to. So by doing that, that regulatory bit also ensures that they stick to the rule of the game, and when they don't, they get they get punished by the regulator. So what you have to do also is before you invest, check that you're investing with a regulated company. And for the young man that called earlier that complained about the investment, you might want to escalate that to the regulator of that company.
That's Pencom this time.
No,
because it's an insurance company.
No, that's also NICOM.
NICOM, okay.
So you might want to escalate that to NICOM. I'm sure NICOM have a way of wielding the shield against such companies and ensuring that they meet every liability that they have.
Oh, wow. Okay, the last question because of time, Babajide. There are some persons who are listening to us now. They have never invested anywhere. In fact, some are hearing about investment for the first time. So for new investors, really, what do you think are the common mistakes that they can make, and how can they avoid these mistakes so that they don't lose their money? Because when investments go bad, it's actually money down the drain.
Yeah, thank you once again. The most important thing to check out for when you're investing is to educate yourself, because you want to understand the language that the company or person telling you to invest is speaking. You don't want to hear some jargons that you don't understand. Because of that, then you then fall into lack of understanding is a problem itself. So understand the various investment products available, have minimum finance knowledge, and today there are a lot of things you can do online that will help you get that knowledge. Also important is to ensure that you avoid emotional decision making. Investment is a rational decision that you must make. Don't say because my friend works in this company and putting my money there. No, that can be a consideration in addition to the rational decision you're taking. You go there, check the numbers, speak to your advisor, let them convince you. It's like your doctor. I mean, when it comes to finance, I mean, it's like you're speaking to your doctor. They have to convince. Your doctor is telling you something. This is wrong with you. You must tell, okay, what do? You must understand those things. Otherwise, when you fail to understand them, the likelihood of you falling into losing money might be higher. I mean, it doesn't mean that if you understand, you won't lose money.
Yeah.
But the point is that you minimize the risk of not losing money when you understand what you're going into, and you understand the risks, because there's a risk and return where they play together. The higher the risks in investment, the higher the return. So when you understand that, oh, I'm going to this high risk investment, all you should know is that there's also a chance of you getting higher return or losing all your money. So it comes clear to you. Investment does not guarantee you that you not lose money, although there's some investment products that can guarantee you not losing money. That's why you have to read within the lines and ensure you understand what you're going into. Also important is to ensure that you diversify your portfolio. Don't invest in, people are investing in shares today, you put all your money in shares. Oh no, or bonds. Depending, whether it's also good to talk to your financial advisor when you don't understand something. Talk to them. They will tell you the ratio of your portfolio that you can put in equity, in bonds or fixed income, and lastly alternative assets, and they can advise you on the proportion on how you should spread it. Also important is to check that, because some of these mutual funds or our own asset managers, they charge a fee. So you want to check, are you happy with the fee? If you're happy with the fee, then you want to also get considerations and discuss that also. So that was kind of summarize some of the key things you should consider prior to investing.
Thank you very much. So when we're talking about educate yourself, that's what you mean. Not that I want to invest, that I don't know anything about investment and finance, I should now start teaching myself. What you mean is that go to an advisor.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And unfortunately, that's all time we'll also take on the program this evening. We've had here Babajide Fadahunsi. He is Deal Advisory Team Senior Manager at PricewaterhouseCoopers, and he's been discussing investing, a great way to grow wealth over time. And it's been such an education. Babajide, thank you very much for coming this evening. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much for having me.
And that's our show for this evening. Join us again next time. Till that time, you can check out CFA Society Nigeria on YouTube, just like that. CFA Society Nigeria on YouTube, or you can go to the website www.cfasocietyng.org. Till next time, be wise when you're making investment. Have a good evening. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Money Talks, hosted by the CFA Society Nigeria. Stay connected with us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube at CFA Society Nigeria. Follow us for more financial insight and updates. Keep a date with us next time.